Hi, I'm Dr. David Baker Hargrove.
And I'm Robert Baker Hargrove.
And we're at the top of your inbox. This is the place where we come together to bring to you all of our years of lessons learned from owning and operating businesses both independently and together.
And our goal is to provide you with a little bit of business bite for you to take back to your company to help your business grow and your leaders develop. So, Dr. Dave, what's at the top of your inbox?
So today, I thought we would talk about the other side of the job interview process and really discuss tips and things to know when you are the interviewer. You are the company or the leader who's interviewing candidates for a position that you want to fill.
So some really good things and tips to think about is if you've never done that before, then I would say do your research in regards to number one, what's the position that you're interviewing for or that you're trying to fill, and do a job analysis, look at what's going on in the market and kind of pull some information together. That'll kind of help give you a sense of where you might need to steer when you're going through this interview process. The next thing to do is make sure you have a very clear job description that when you have posted it, so you know exactly the desired and required qualifications that you're looking for and educational level or technical skills if that's part of the job. Another thing to consider is also doing a pay analysis, a compensation analysis. Look at the range necessarily for, what you're asking for, the position that you're interviewing for, but also the location where you are, because that may also have some play or consideration on how you post that information. So that in itself are some really good other tips. Another one is when you're having the first round of interviews, if it is more than one round or less than one round, have more perspective. So have maybe a panel interview, 2 or 3 people.
So in thinking about like doing more than one round of interviews, essentially the point is to narrow down the candidates until you get to like your top 3 or whatever. You really want to think ahead of time. How many rounds do you think that you're going to do? And what is going to be the key reasons why you do more than one round? So if your round 2 is to get a deeper dive into those candidates that you really like, what are you going to do during round 2 that's going to be different, that's going to allow you to get a better knowledge of the candidate and have the candidate have a better knowledge of you? You have to make it work. You don't want to be doing the same questions over and over again because that's not really the whole point of why you would do more than one round. So that's key. 2 is if you're posting your job description online, put in the salary range. That used to be a thing back in my day when I was first starting out in the work. Yeah, a long time ago. When I was working for, on the dinosaur zoo.
Moving on.
Okay. That was like you never talked about salary and you didn't post salaries publicly. Well, it's a new world. It's not within the range that they're looking for. They're just going to pass you by.
Yeah, and one of the other things I would suggest is if you sitting there and interviewing, knowing that people are going to come in as, that they're going to be asking you questions from a corporate and company standpoint. So have some standard things to think about that you could probably think that, they may ask us about what is our company culture like, or what is a day like, here working for this company, or what are some of your expectations of this individual coming in, or what would you say, if they ask you, well, say I get hired, what would be your expectation for me in this role in the first 90 days? Just things like that. Have some really good things that you have had an opportunity to think through. And maybe also consider at just a real super high level that you offer benefits, and you'll put some of that in your, probably in your posting. It may not be really elaborate, or you could say maybe benefits are offered. And if it's something of that nature, they may ask you a question about just a little bit more detail. But these are things to just be prepared, because remember, the whole interview process is give and take. You're interviewing them to see if they're the right fit for this position, but they're also interviewing you to make sure that you're a right fit for them to spend that much time with.
Yes. So it's, you really have to think about this interview as you are really providing a reflection, believe it or not, of the culture of your organization in this interview process. And so you want to make sure that the interview process adequately reflects the culture of your organization, but you also want to be able to describe that in very definitive terms so that people have some idea at least of what they would be walking into. And you know what? There's so much more that we can talk
Absolutely,
about.
yes.
And helping people leaders maybe make their interview process better, or maybe if they're first time interviewers, trying to help them kind of move that process along so it's a lot more effective for everyone concerned.
Yes. And if you would like any help with that, you can reach out to me at robertbakerhargrove.com.
Or me at davidbaker-hargrove.com.
And if any of this information has been very helpful to you, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And you can reach out to both of us at bhcassessment.com.
So until next time, we'll see you
at the top of your inbox.